Wow, we've got some Black Flag overtime here.
Hi, my name is
introduce
Exploding
yourself.
Mummy.
How
Several
long have
months.
you been known by that name for a
Several
while?
months at least.
Yeah. How long have you been known by that name? Several months. They just made such an impression on him, really. You're running away from exploding mummies. Come on. Few years after he got back. So here we have Adewale.
The parcel is with the Templar Admiral on the lead ship, Captain. Once he gives the orders, it will be lost. The parcel itself is
Now you want to stay away if you care about this conversation, stay away from that fleet.
And unmask the true Templar threat.
Because you have to first find the flagship, man of war there, and then you have to fire a mortar shot before before you engage in battle.
Hey!
Hey, he sounds like you.
Hey! Okay.
And often it is necessary.
But yeah, mortar. To quote surprise the fleet. I guess you just need to hit one of them with mortars.
Yes. Unfortunately,
I have to reconnect it. Reassign my wireless controller to port 1. Which I just did.
so we are. No, I forget the ship's name, but we are no longer sailing the Jackdaw, unfortunately.
Yes. The Jackdaw ship. This is a
No, I thought
totally
it has a
ship,
name, but it just.
Not to spoil too much, Adewale will not have. It has a name, but
Okay.
it's probably not the one you're thinking of because he gets that in a few missions.
Hey, fire barrels actually had a
But as for this ship, I have no idea about it, and we won't be seeing it for very long.
Man of War.
And hey, our first mission has us fighting a man of war. And hey, that's not the Spanish or British flags, that's a Fleur de Lis, which means we're fighting the French fleet. Oh, I didn't even know you had to. You could board or sink it. I thought you had to board it.
We'll just get it over with.
I guess. So we have our first boarding as Adewale. This will not be the last. And because it's our first,
Which
we have
means,
to
how are
make
you going to fuck it up?
stylish entrance. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, you're lucky you didn't accidentally,
I could have had a smoother landing, but it's
accidentally
alright,
hit
I
the
guess.
second left as soon as you landed in.
Now I admit, before I recorded this, I was playing a lot of Shadow of Mordor, as I mentioned. So my
It's
open
easier,
world,
but it's-
the countering in Shadow of Mordor is
Yeah.
easier than easier than this game. But it just took me a while to readjust back to Assassin's Creed controls after playing Mordor for so long. And speaking of which, a couple nights ago I got all 100% of the trophies in that game.
I never really did the
Including,
Bright Lord
which
DLC,
includes Lord of the Hunt and the Bright Lord.
Maybe someday I'll go back to it.
Bright Lord was pretty cool,
Yeah.
especially since
Yeah,
you fight
I mean, the
Sauron.
problem that I had was it's just
That's
like-
a pretty awesome fight.
When a lot of the... I got the game relatively close to it coming out because I forget what I managed. So I'm always good at getting discounts on the PC. So... Oh, dick.
Hey, my crew member hit me with his sword. That's not very nice.
But what I was going to say was, I played it pretty close to when it came out, and well, you know, after a while, I just was onto something else, and I really didn't want to come back to it. I really should. I mean, it's a really fun game. But after getting a level,
Yeah,
the level 20
understandable.
rune, that kind of was enough for me for a little bit. For
Understandable, but yeah, after I finished off Mordor, now I've moved on to BioShock Infinite. I only played a couple hours of it last night. I got it a few months ago, but I haven't touched it just because I already had a ton of games to go
yeah,
through.
actually, I'm gonna.
But
start
now I'm
playing
finally getting
Mafia
around to
today.
it.
I hope so. Looks fun. But
Now, this is a problem I kind of noticed. Well, see, the thing is I recorded Avaline's mission first, and a big problem with that recording was that my TV was ridiculously dark. I could not see anything. So I just kind of had to suss out my way through the DLC, the Avaline mission. I'm kind of having the same problem here, because it's really dark.
Bastien Joseph, Port-au-Prince. What business do Templars have there? Captain! More French vessels at our tail! Too many! We'll retreat through the storm! We will be smashed ashore! A worse fate awaits if we let this land in Templar hands! Aye, Captain!
But if you're looking closely while I'm running away from these ships, you may notice a crew member go flying.
Captain! There's no... They're too strong for us! Rescue yourselves! I must stay with the ship! No, I will stay with you!
Uh-oh. See how good fire barrels are? I mean, they're not that great, but took out that one brig.
Stuck on the wind!
And personally, I would like to stay and fight, but
yeah,
we have to get away from them. And right now, I'm heading straight
That's a bad
into a
idea.
squall and tidal wave. I did not mean to do that. I was so focused fighting those other ships, I basically completely forgot where I was going, and we're taking a lot of damage from that storm. But hey, it's kind of cool because I'm playing along with the mission. You gotta like that. Yeah, I totally meant to do that, by the way. Let's see, when does that guy go flying?
I don't know.
Whoop. Come on, where are you flying, man? Oh, there he is. See him. Oh, he's still there. And he just disappeared.
Yes.
The ascension of that crew member. By the way, if the music sounds different, that's because Freedom Cry and Black Flag had different composers. I know the composer for Black Flag was Brian Tyler, who also did the soundtrack for Iron Man 3. I do not know who this composer is, just off the top of my head. It feels like just a little while ago Jesper Kid was doing all the music for these games. But the last soundtrack he had any input on was Revelations, which was
Come on, Adam,
5 years ago. Kenway taught you better than that.
Ramp it.
Woo. Woo. That was a short DLC.
Rest in peace,
Very
Adewale.
faithful to the
Shot him with a
original
gun
game, for
full with
sure.
a fistful of puckle gun.
No, he has his assassin hood on. Now I will say I really do
They're very
like Walle's robes.
minimalistic.
They look pretty. Yeah, but they're ornate but minimalistic, so I like it. Now, Adewale starts with a bunch of the stuff Edward had. You do not get a sword in this. You get something that acts like a sword, but is not. You have the blowpipe, which has sleep and berserk darts in it. You also have rope darts. So
Sale truie! Non! Ça te coûtera une oreille! Bah, John.
now, one thing I will say about Freedom Cry is that it actually moves really fast if you're focusing on story missions, because you have this mission, then you have the next one, which is also really short, and then you have another one, then you have another one. The fourth mission, you get the ship, and then, yeah, and there's a whole little
It's a little
overworld.
subset.
Merci, bon Dieu. Désolé. I have nothing to offer but thanks.
Nothing else is needed. As a boy, I fled the same fate.
Why would you risk recapture?
Men of principle know the bigger risk is to turn away. I'm looking for Bastienne Joseph. Do you know her?
Moi-même, pas qu'on elle. But any fine gentleman may lead you to her. Too late for this one. Find another in town.
The thanks is now mine. Do you have a place of refuge?
My family waits in the mountains. Démon, Gemon.
Et Dieu soit avec vous.
I kind of feel like part of Adewale's design was based on that guy. I have no evidence to back that up. I'm just completely talking out of my ass here, but I
Probably.
think they may have drawn a few cues from it. Whatever, I don't know Ubisoft. Now, if there's one change I really wish they had, it's just they don't have you hold down select to bring up the
Oh, because you wanted to
It's
bring up the
really
map,
annoying
but
to me.
instead.
Yeah, but I just, for something that pops up as commonly as the database, I don't like holding down select for it.
So, basically, the obviously the framing for Freedom's Cry is that you're in Port-au-Prince and you're dealing with the chattel slave trade, mostly. And Adewale's black. So this does not...
He is a black man, yes.
Basically, the main dudes in the game, or the main one of the villains that you have to get around are overseers who, you know, they're guards who will actively look for you when you're not, even if you're in the middle of town. They will actively look for you, and, well...
Yeah, the typical Assassin's Creed rule of if you cause a lot of trouble, then guards will come after you. That does not apply unless you are in a restricted area or one of the jailers spots you. Because they're dickbags. Oh, that's not very nice.
And one of the things that we can do in this game is liberate slaves. The actual mechanisms and rewards for why you free slaves, we can push that off until later because it's much more obvious. But
yes, but suffice to say, the more slaves you liberate, the better.
The Black Code.
The Code Noir. And yeah, I'm pretty sure all the usual suspects were bitching about the DLC just because it had a black protagonist and it's about slavery in Hispaniola.
Yeah.
But this is a pretty cool DLC, I gotta
So, throughout town, there's
say. It's a very small... It's basically a really small version of the main game, but it's DLC. Oh, look at that! That woman... I pickpocketed that guy perfectly. I got pushed by that woman. And now I'm being all brutish and having to kill these guys. Instead of doing it the classy way, which is simply pickpocketing that guy and liberating the slaves before anyone saw me. So, thanks for that. Really appreciate it.
So, obviously there are different ways you can get slaves, or free slaves. Get slaves kind of is wrong. You can free slaves in different manners. The first way is... Every once in a while, somebody will be they'll be chasing somebody, and you can free them like that. The game is very good at like introducing us to right off the bat. Some of them will be at stands in town, being sold. Others will be in cages. If it's in the cage, you have to get the key. If they're being, otherwise you can just kind of grab them.
Yeah, and sometimes you have slave auctions that are going on. And I believe if you cause too much of a ruckus, the auctioneers will kill some of the slaves, and you'll be able to rescue fewer of them, obviously. But if you do it really fast and don't set off an alarm or something, you can get about 5 slaves in one.
Yeah.
Like right there, that's the auction.
I'm surprised you didn't just go for the watchtower.
Well, currently having a lot of trouble getting around those two.
There was a lift. And a lot of fire barrels too.
Yeah, but I might have killed someone if I used that lift. And your ancestor did not kill animals or civilians.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. Well, that's what the game always tells me. Although, you know what the grand champion of annoying Assassin's
Box
Creed
dudes.
NPCs are? The beggars in the first game. Those guys were the worst.
Box dudes.
I'm gonna say the beggars were the most annoying NPCs.
Especially the mission where you had to become a box dude. You know the one. At least when you got to become, they replaced beggars with bards, and then when you replaced when you got to be a bard, that was actually a fucking great mission. So
yeah, are you talking about the one where you're carrying
Yes.
the Apple of Eden in Venice? Yeah, that's what I figured you were referring to. Although basically, now my scheduled time for going to Japan is in April when the new semester starts. So I want to record all of Brotherhood before that happens, because I will definitely be bringing my PS4 over, but I don't want to bring my PS3 because they're both big consoles, and I don't want two big consoles.
PS4 Slim.
If I had the money, yes.
Thinking about getting the
Which I
Pro,
don't.
but I haven't. Because I have my PS4, and I recently just liquidated all my old GameCube and PlayStation 2 games. So I've got a couple $100 in like GameStop cash sitting around. So I'm like, what am I going to do with this?
You get a nice little flyover.
Yes.
Sandomin.
So we are now in Haiti, I believe. Is that right? Oh no. Oh dear.
I was aiming for the haystack.
Oh dear.
I must have just been a few degrees off.
So we're obviously in Haiti. Pre-hurricane.
While it was under French colonial rule, which is why the Frenchmen are our primary antagonists for this game. Or they're the random mooks, whatever. Yeah, we get the same runaway slave jailers pop up. But luckily it also saves, yeah, and sometimes you get these little convoys of people and just kill everyone to liberate the slaves. Easy as that. And you actually have to liberate them. You can't just kill everyone, run off, and the guys...
Well, they have to
free.
know
You
that they're
go
free.
talk to
You
them.
must help your brothers and sisters.
Yeah, there's that.
I mean, you really could go on with the story, but it is for the benefit of you. Free a bunch of slaves right now, anyway.
Yeah, and you unlock special weapons.
Like I said,
having
we're going to
more
discuss that
slaves.
later.
Well, I'm just saying we do get more weapons. I'm not saying what they are. And since we have a machete, you get a bunch of new kill animations. And Adewale is a pretty violent.
It's a
guy.
fucking machete.
He really digs that machete. Yeah, I can understand just wanting to dig it into that guy, but he's got quite the violent streak. Like if body parts could fall off, if you could dismember people in these games, Adewale would leave body parts stretching all over the place. It'd be gruesome. But yeah, now I'm looking for that gentleman, and I can't find this guy, so I'm gonna spend the next few moments just wandering around. Now, the PS Pro is just a smaller PS4.
The PS Pro
right?
is the one that supports 4K. The PS Slim is the
What
one
is
that
that?
supports. There's a PS4 Slim that's half the size of the PS4.
What is the 4K? What is
Ultra
4K, I
high
should
definition.
say? Oh,
4096 by
just went.
1920.
So when 1080p just isn't good enough.
It's the next resolution
Wow.
up from next common resolution up from 1080p that is being popularized.
Jeez. There he is.
I only say that because I'm not going to go for like 2560 by 1680 or some whacked ass thing like that.
Jeez. You know, one thing I've noticed after playing PS4 so much and then coming back to PS3 to record this game is that the PS4 really is a huge step up in
Yeah.
graphical power compared to the PS3.
Yeah.
Like, the PS3 was already a beast. There were some developers who really kind of pushed it to the limit, got some amazing looking games out of it. The PS4 is just on a whole
Yeah.
different level.
I just wish that they were more compatible, but that's unfortunately not the case.
Yeah, it's just the architecture is too different for them to be compatible with each other.
These animals are in fine shape.
Good to hear.
But yeah. And you have a bunch. You can have a bunch of different events trigger at the same time, but unfortunately, we just don't have time for that right now. Now there are 10 regular missions in the story missions in the Freedom Cry main story. You also have the slave stuff, of course, and you have exploring with the ship we eventually get. Next video. I imagine I will need about 5 videos to cover all of Freedom Cry.
Sounds about right. Oh well, he's going to the brothel, and the place that looks like a brothel.
Again, look how dark this is. I can't see
Yeah, you need to
anything.
adjust your gamma.
I'll adjust your gamma first.
Oh boy. And if there's one thing we need, it is eavesdropping.
You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Yeah.
You think me a traitor?
Slaves would be safer for it.
Monsieur Gouverneur, they felt safe at the plantation. Do you think they would-
Unfortunately, this is where I fail the mission, because I'm stuck against these two, and I can't slip
Violence is the only
in
currency
between
that
them.
motivates them.
So this is trouble right here.
If you really want to protect your African friends, spread the word.
They won't let me through.
Otherwise,
You need not describe. I know.
Mm-hmm.
And I failed the mission.
Yeah. If there's actually one thing I really hate about Freedom's Cry is there are a lot of eavesdropping missions, and they really have no business being what they are. They're just annoying.
Well, I remember this one and another one that I haven't recorded yet, but Those are the only two I can remember off the top of my head.
Safer for it.
Monsieur Gouverneur, they felt safe.
At least we'll be killing a lot of dudes later in this video.
Of course. It's their animal nature. Violence is the only currency that motivates them. Like going, you really want to protect your African friends. Spread the word. Quiet them down. Oh, nice.
You need not describe. I know what you do.
I could not raise a hand to hurt a fly.
Oh, hey, that's the governor.
But the overseers have every right
Or the
to display
gouverneur.
as they see fit.
Maybe. I can't say French.
I will deliver your message. The cost will be high.
We will both profit.
Gouverneur, that's it.
Is there any other service you require? Gouverneur,
Oh, an old man like me. I dare say Guzan has exhausted me already.
then show yourself out.
Now, we could probably just stab that guy and make everything a lot simpler, but there's no violence in the brothel. Are you kidding me?
There's no sex in the champagne room.
Exactly.
Madame Joseph. Expecting a package.
It. But not you. Where's l'Admiral? I see. And do you mean for me to meet the same fate? Look around. One threat, and these men will end you.
I bring no threat. Tell me, how do the Templars allow you to carry on like this?
I am only the messenger. But before you judge, remember, the Templars' coin, like any, will buy the freedom of men like you. I know this mark.
You know nothing.
You have the brand of a slave, the eloquence of a scholar, hands of a sailor, and an assassin's hood. Few weapons. I think the storm stranded you. What do you need? A ship? Shelter? These things can be had for the price of this parcel.
I need nothing I can't win for myself. But prove that what you promise is true. And perhaps something can be arranged.
Is this your game? Very well. Then you will do me a favor. Augustin Dufort is a very secretive man. First find his plantation contact and give him this message from the gouverneur. Augustin will give you all the proof you need. Repeat this password. Sili Badodo Kabla va manger.
Sili pas dodo, crabla va manger.
Pas mal. A convincing baritone. Now I suggest you leave before my admirers get suspicious.
Like Mohawk voice actors. Nobody. You imagine it. The very concept is absurd.
Yeah. So that is Madame Joseph, who is the madam of the brothel, and
Unfortunately, Adewale's sister will not come in and take over the brothel's operations. Unlike some other Assassin's Creed games I can think of.
thanks, brother. Thanks, Mom. That was really fucking creepy. Not gonna lie.
What, Ezio's sister running the brothel?
Yeah.
Well, gotta keep the business in the family.
It wasn't even your business.
Well, it's in the family. Now the game looks fine when you're out in the sun like this. Like, I can see this perfectly, as you might guess. It's
Yeah.
just when you start getting into the foresty areas, it can get pretty hard to see.
Yeah.
Stuff really shoved him off.
Yeah, another liberated slave. So we've now received a mysterious password that involves a giant crab.
Any crab battle jokes were made 10 years ago.
I was gonna say something about flipping it over for massive damage, but
No, that's an old joke too, but it still works. Like I like how those presenters thought battles in medieval Japan involved giant crabs.
yeah, yeah. That game was.
That was back when the PS3 was kind of a punchline, just because of its
Well,
price in the E3 presentation.
Well, the PS3 kind of ended up being a punchline, but
Well, if by punchline you mean the second best-selling system,
Oh.
and it getting a very sizable quality library of good games.
yeah.
If it wasn't for the PS2 being so utterly dominant in a couple game generations ago, I would say the PS3 is a worthy contender for Sony's most successful console.
In a lot of ways, well, I don't know, PS2, PS4, and PS1 were all much better.
PS3 got a late start, but it was at the end of the day, it was a really good console.
Yeah. So, Plantation's returned from the main game, except they're a bit different this time.
Yeah, it's not just a normal area that just has slaves as kind of flavor
No.
people on the plantation. Now, there's... well, you can go ahead and explain.
There are two ways that the plantation works. Basically, what we are doing now is the hard version of this mission. All you do is basically run around and kill all of the guards.
Well, there's a lot more than 20 guys, but we just had to kill 20 of them.
Yeah, well, still, you have to still kill a bunch of men.
Yes.
And unfortunately, if you get detected, they will start killing slaves.
Mm-hmm.
So, stealth is key in this. Now, this is how this mission plays out if you're in the day. It's a lot easier in the night because because the slaves aren't in the field at night.
Yes.
And they're in bungalows, which means they don't get killed if you get spotted. You just have to fight a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, you just collect keys, you open doors, and when you open the third and final door, Plantation has been liberated. He has a wonderful singing voice.
Yeah.
Now let's get back to killing people.
Yeah, we still got another 13 dudes to get through.
Now, obviously, your reward for plantations is you liberate a lot of slaves at one time. But of course, this is contingent on you mostly staying out of sight.
Right. And not...
And if you get kind of minor alerts, like one guy, you get into a fight with one guy, they're not gonna go ape over that. But if you get in a fight with a couple guys, or you allow guys to ring the bell, then the slaves are in trouble.
Yeah. Tend to go.
It really is kind of sick how desensitized we've become to video game violence. Like, I'm just killing these people and not thinking anything of it.
Yeah, says the man who spent an entire 10 minutes last like 2 videos ago trying to string up as many people up with rope darts as he possibly could.
As I'm saying, it's amazing how desensitized we've become.
Working windmill.
Like you can perfectly sum up the Uncharted series, but just by saying the fact that in the first game,
No, all you have to say is the magical phrase "ludum narrative dissonance."
there is that. But I'm just thinking back to Uncharted 1, where if you got explosive kills where you killed like 3 or 4 people, Drake would laugh about it or taunt them. And that's really all you need to say. Because
Yeah.
you think about it, he is killing hundreds of people, and yet he feels pretty good about it.
Yeah.
Like, Sully at the end brags about how the pirates are too dead to care about Sully taking the boat. And they're yucking it up. So we are in a point in video game history in which the lives of innocent mooks really are worth nothing.
Yeah. Batman.
Yeah, well, Batman has the plausible deniability part. We don't even have that.
What do you mean he has plausible deniability?
I just break a bunch of bones. That's all I'm saying. Oh, a tip for plantations: don't.
My favorite one was where he grabbed somebody and then proceeded to. Oh god, there's some gif of him swooping in to grab somebody, and he knocks him off the roof with him and does a bulldog front face plant. So he face plants them, grabs them off the roof, and then slams them into the face first in the street. And then a cop car runs over them.
Wait, a cop car runs over them?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
But don't worry, you're shooting stun bullets at them in the Batmobile.
Yeah.
Now, those are all the rewards you get from liberated slaves. Special reward, you get a special reward at 500 slaves, but take a guess what that is.
Super weapon.
Nope.
Oh wait, no, it's oh, I know. Fuck. I remember what it is, but I can't think of it.
It's a trophy/achievement. That's it.
But anyway, now that we've emptied out this plantation, we can go. And
Well, I don't think we
our-
need it to. Well, you don't need to liberate it at all. It just makes it easier to
Well,
explore.
now it's easier because it's no longer a restricted
Yes.
area.
Well, it will be restricted when a new owner is found, but for the moment, yes.
When Animus runs killdude.exe and generates a new random NPC for us to.
Including maybe Josephine herself. Or Bestienne, whatever, I don't know, or Josephine, whatever. Uh-oh. Now, at the end of this mission, you get a really cool...
And it was cool in the one that you actually get as a weapon in Unity.
oh yeah,
That's
the
cool too.
sword.
The other one. Well, both of them.
What was the other one?
The lamp.
Oh yes, the lamp of Saint... whatever.
The head of John the Baptist or whatever the fuck it is. That was pretty cool.
Now, overseers, it's just a general term for random mooks, like these guys.
Yeah.
See ya! Now, when it says push an overseer into water, it does not mean throw them off. You might think that's like a video game thing where you could exploit it like that, but no, you have to actually physically push them, not throw. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to whenever Shadow of Mordor 2 gets released. Because that whole dominating mechanic, that is really fun.
Yeah, I know that. I remember telling you. It's like I remember at one point. It's like, so where are you? I'm still in the. Oh, I'm still in
Udin.
the north of Mordor, and I'm like, yeah. Wait till you get to the next map. It's the very first thing you do on the next map is learn how to dominate people, and then hopefully fuck. Then you get to play Orc Raising Simulator,
And yeah, this
which is the saddest thing in the world.
but it's
the
really
best thing
fun
in the
because there's nothing more entertaining than having a whole army of mooks coming after you, but just within like 10 seconds, half of them are under your control and they're fighting the other half. That is really entertaining.
My other favorite, of course, is
wait, that strange force just pushed me.
I love and hate the level 20 rune.
Now, this is a pretty
achievement,
this is
because
a pretty
that is
epic fight right here, because I'm trying to push this guy into the water, and it's tough.
So, should we tell anybody what the hell I mean by
Oh,
getting level 20?
he's on the ropes.
Almost. Literally, quite literally.
This is so goofy. Oh. Yes! Got him! Oh, he landed in the water too. Nice.
Nice. So, anyway, to get a level 20 or
25, I think, is the one.
Oh yeah, it was level. You're right. It's 25. Basically, you have to play a very careful game of manipulation, and then pray that the random generator loves you.
As long as you know what the conditions for raising a war chief's level, it's not that bad.
Well, the problem is that eventually you get to the point of. So the idea is that there are runes that you can get that give you strength, and depending on what level you are, what level the enemy is, the strength of the rune will be increased. So you have to get a very high level guy, but at the same time you can't get. The higher the level the guy is, there's a chance that he'll give you what's called an epic rune, and an epic rune doesn't have a level on it. Stop playing with your food.
Unfortunately, this is not Uncharted, and I can't just pull him down into the drink.
Or later Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, rope dart!
There we go.
I bet you didn't see that rope dart coming.
Yeah.
It also kind of makes me wonder how broken rope darts would be in multiplayer if they had them.
Let them escape. The river.
In
Assassin's
Creed
grappling
multiplayer.
hook, but that isn't quite the same thing.
If someone is running away from you, you could just pull them back Scorpion style.
Hey, you know what? We haven't had a mission like this.
This is like the Forum of Ox in Revelations.
That is exactly what I was going to say.
And that's good because the Forum of the Ox is a really cool side mission.
Yeah, I mean, we almost had a mission like that in the main game, except it kind of got broken up by the. What is the word I'm going to use to describe it?
I'm not sure. Oh yeah, it's
Crocodiles.
The one that takes place in South Carolina.
Yeah, but you had a, but it wasn't all action. It was stop and go.
Yeah, that mission in South Carolina was kind of the same, but as kind of a straight homage to the Forum of the Ox, that's as close as you're gonna get.
Yeah.
And do you remember how cool the Forum of the Ox was? It was really good. I mean, you had really nice music and the.
Augustin, Dieu fort.
Blanc dit sans fait. Bon Dieu fait sans dit. The French governor is two-faced. Bastien helps as she can, but Maroon independence is long to build. Longer now. A warrior like you would be a great asset to our cause.
With due respect, I serve a different brotherhood and am honor-bound to return as soon as I find the means.
But only the Iowa know when that will be. Meantime, I have sanctuary and weapons to share.
Perhaps our needs may align for a time. What do you need?
Recruits, liberated slaves. The warriors among them join me. The others grow the community for which we fight. Petit à petit, oiseau fait son nid.
I suppose I might lend a hand for a time.
Petit Paché. I will see that you are rewarded for whatever you can give. Best begin soon. There's much to do.
Really awesome.
Unity. Mainly because it's a fucking grenade launcher. And
Well, the
though I guess technically the
yeah,
air,
I was
rifle
about to
grenade
say,
launcher.
where does the air rifle come in on that?
In Rogue is, well, it's kind of on its own different level because it's not really a gun. It's
Oh,
just
yeah, and there's a whole different
thing.
category of people
I mean,
you
it is
can
a gun.
liberate now, and they give you a different set of rewards. But generally, those rewards are not cosmetic weapon upgrade stuff. It's stuff like get free ammunition and you get some Maroons to help you out. You know what I wish was a feature in buying ammo? Being able to just fill up all your ammo with one button press.
That was a nice thing that they did in the later games.
They should have introduced it here.
My thanks.
Well, they threw it in Unity, so it's like the next one out, but unfortunately it's not now. Especially since there's a whole lot of ammunition types in this game. I forget if they did it in Rogue.
Yeah, they might have.
They might have.
Well, the
Rogue
Flag
even has even more types.
No. Yeah. I was thinking that this game and Rogue were sister games, but no, that's Rogue and Unity are sister games.
Rogue and Unity are systems games,
Yes,
but
so,
Rogue is
I
running
don't
off
know.
of this engine. Yeah. But
Yeah, it's a shotgun, and it has a pretty wide spread, and basically any enemy who gets caught in it instantly dead. Like this.
yeah.
Now, how awesome is that?
Yep.
Pretty nice.
Pretty nice. The
Just have to finish that thought next time.
yep.